welcome to everyone. It's a brand new competition, the AB Sundex 1895 Cup Final, featuring two sides who have been to the very darkest pits of despair. Today they emerge into the brightness of this wonderful Wembley Stadium under the sunshine glow, looking for a little taste of the big time once again. Widnes, once again, the Cup Kings under the old Twin Towers. Well, they are back here for the first time since 1993, looking for another bit of silver to add to their rather fetching collection of trophies. As for Sheffield, well, their 1998 Challenge Cup win was one of the great finals, and their return here after administration, after going through the ringer of a merger, having been homeless, Sheffield Eagles are on the way back up as well. And a man alongside me this afternoon was the man who engineered that 1998 triumph. Sheffield Eagles then head coach John Keir. What a final we've got in prospect.
Yeah, really pleased to see the Eagles back here. As you rightly said, they've had some high points, they've had some low points, but things are really coming good. They've had a great season this year, and there's a possibility of the new stadium being right for next year, and then there's a World Cup in Sheffield the year after, so it's a time that they will be buzzing.
So just looking through the guests of honour for this game, Johnny Whiteley among those who's being introduced. Tony Adams is part of the party as well, and our former BBC colleague Ray French, whose name has been added to the Player of the Match award for this one. Laura Beaumont from AB Sundex as well, and Simon Johnson, the interim chairman of the Rugby Football League, along with Carl Hall, the vice president, as the presentation party meet the players. Right, let's have a look at the teams then. Sheffield Eagles, well, they have their half-back pairing of Patch Walker and Anthony Thackeray. They will be key this afternoon. Greg Burns comes in at hooker. They are a Sheffield Eagles side looking full strength for this one. And let's have a look at the Widnes side as well. Well, they have some quality in their ranks. Players like Hep Cahill and Harrison Hansen have played at the highest level in their careers, and a young half-back partnership with Danny Craven has been at the club since their championship days, back into Super League, and he's still with the club. Yeah,
and don't forget they've got Anthony Gellin, haven't they, who's featured prominently in Super League, and he really is a big name that's out there, and just anticipate a very, very intense and very close game amongst these two teams.
Yeah, Jordan Johnston, part of that team as well, off to Hull FC next season. So Johnny Whiteley, who will present the trophy at the end, just being introduced to the match officials panel. And the Widnes fans, who have almost saw their club go out of business. They rallied the Widnes Quids In group, along with the consortium, helping to save the club. This is a massive day out for both sets of fans, regardless of the result.
Outstanding day out, and you're right to say that and point the fact out. So many Widnes fans have travelled down, and it just shows how much they do care for their club, with how they rescued the club, in all honesty. You know, it looked to be going into oblivion. They've rescued the club, and this is their day in the sun with this 1895 Cup.
And they're the Sheffield Eagles fans as well. Maybe not so large in number in terms of their volume, but their volume in terms of their noise that they make will hopefully add something to this cup final. Plenty of colour about Wembley. A few fans have stuck around from the Challenge Cup final to watch as well. And of course, 30 years ago, this Widnes club were the kings of the world. That famous win against Canberra, what a wonderful occasion that was, and another chance to put another trophy in the cabinet.
It really was, and there were regulars here, weren't there? There really were regulars here featuring the Challenge Cup final. And it is marvellous to see them here, and those players will be relishing it, and those fans as well. It's a big, big day for them, and they've come down here. It's still very, very warm, but I'm just hoping that we see a spectacle as good as the Challenge Cup final, which is obviously a sensational game.
There's not a lot to choose between the two sides in terms of their record. Widnes, through the administration that they went through before they were saved, mean that they had a points deduction this season, so their league position is slightly skewed, but 15 wins for Sheffield from 25 games, 12 wins for Widnes from 25 games. It looks as though these two teams are pretty evenly matched. despite the fact they've both got a win apiece from their regular season games. And now, John, we edge towards kick-off. The team's getting into their huddles, getting into their preparations. This is a huge moment for both sides.
It certainly is. It looks like it's going to be Patch Walker who's kicking the ball off there. So Sheffield Eagles will kick the ball to Widnes. They will have first use of the ball, the Vikings. And it'll be very interesting to see the ferocity in this Eagles defence and the smartness in this Vikings attack.
Well, Kieran Patel, the Widnes coach, and his opposite number, Mark Aston, who Mark Aston, of course, was your general, wasn't he, that day? The Lance Todd Trophy winner back in 1998. He will have got these players perfectly fired up.
Oh, very much so, yes. And obviously Keith Senior as well, who played that day and was a great centre of the early part of this, the 2000s. And he's his assistant, so really impressive coaching staff. But Kieran Patel's earned his stripes as well. And we just wait for the referee to get us underway.
As I say, referee Chris Kendall this afternoon. Pat Walker is going to get us underway. The touch judges, Dean Bomer and Jonathan Roberts. Wembley Stadium, the inaugural 1895 Cup final between Widnes Vikings and the Sheffield Eagles. And we're just waiting for clearance from the referee to get us up and running. The sun still streaming down, a few wispy clouds in a azure sky, and the big arch that towers over this stadium. The pitch now in a bit of shadow. That'll be a relief for some of those wingers who were being sunburnt in the first and second halves of the Challenge Cup final, but we're underway, and it's Widnes who took the ball under their wing first carry, John.
Yeah, deep kick there from Patch Walker as well, and it'll be interesting to see Widnes shaping up pretty well. It'll be interesting to see how they cope with the heat, because this Sheffield Eagles side is a part-time team. Widnes are a mix and match, basically, some part-time, some full-time players. So the aspect of the heat, despite being in the shade, will be really interesting to see how the two teams cope.
Ted Chappell-Howe, one of two brothers at Widnes.
Great kick from Danny Craven, went for the 40-20 early in the tackle count.
And it's right down his own end, McAlim, the USA international, who leads the breakout for Sheffield as he edges his way to the 20. And Sheffield looking to blast their way through that middle.
All the players will be looking to get a touch of the ball or the first tackling, just to settle those nerves, because it is a big stadium and a big occasion for these players. So Ben Blackmore there is just been held and really marshalled well by the markers there, because he is a real threat bringing the ball out from their own end for the Sheffield Eagles.
Joel Farrell just a moment ago with the carry. Thackeray will launch that one downfield. Well placed is Patrick Arvan. Plenty of Super League experience in his CV. The former Bradford and Widnes player, currently back with Widnes after their relegation to the Championship.
Again, interestingly though, Matt, an early kick there. That was the fourth tackle that Sheffield put boot to ball. So obviously at this point in time, both teams just looking for field position.
Gelling trying to get himself into the game with a little carry. Brad Knowles applying a bit of pressure there along with Greg Burns, one of three brothers to have worn the Eagles colours. Gilmore lifts that ball on. Widnes being pinned. Chris Dean. Johnston from Acton half. Cahill will take the contact. Big carry from the experienced Kiwi. There's Johnson on the last. It will be the kick from Tom Gilmore. Gives it some air. It's going to come down in the corner. Ryan Miller does well, really well under pressure, and just slipped away from Anthony Gelling as the pressure.
It was a great take, wasn't it, from Miller there? And that's a ploy that you'll see used quite often, Matt. They often kick. Obviously, he's a big guy, is Gelling. He's good in the air, and they'll often put the ball up for them so that he can challenge with the possibility of an outcome of a try.
Sean Pick, who's rebuilt his career on the back of a ban for using traces of steroids found in a drugs test. He's rebuilt his career with the Eagles.
There's
second chance.
Blackmore again. Look at how he won the ruck there. It's quick play the ball. So off they go straight away. As soon as I get a quick play, the dummy half will pick up and take those yards.
Yeah, plenty of pace about them early doors, Sheffield. The Thackeray again launches the kick. It's a real contest, this one. Good screening in the end by Danny Craven. Just gave Jack Owens in backfield, a bit of time and space to take that ball in, but already we're seeing a ferocious pace and a ferocious contact too.
We certainly are, and a lack of errors as well. You know, we've got to take your hats off these early parts of the game. Both teams playing a little conservatively, but really focusing on getting to the end of the set, which is obviously important, as Warrington demonstrated in the Challenge Cup final.
Yeah, they'll have witnessed the heat, they'll have witnessed the sunshine bearing down, and in this bowl, which keeps the heat in and very much cooks, here comes Cahill, his experience key, tackle there by Aaron Brown. Johnston goes left, and this time it's Craven to give it some air. And underneath it, McAlim takes it in backfield, and he looks for a quick pass, but the Widnes chase was up there very sharpish.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it, that McAlim, who's named at loose forward, is actually playing fullback. And we've got Guzdeck in the centre, and Aaron Brown's lining up at loose forward. So a little bit of trickery from Mark Astor's coach there.
Well, we've got a man down, Jordan Johnston, I think it is, who's...
Yeah, he's very important as well to the Vikings, his work rate and the quality of his skill as well.
Yeah, he looks in a bad way, doesn't he, actually? He's just having a little bit of a check-up.
Yeah, well, his sign hasn't for Hull FC for next year, so he'll be prominent in Super League in 2020, and it's looks like a cut to the eye there. And we've got the doctor out there.
Like an awkward position, isn't it? Almost between eyelid and eyebrow. And there, obviously, the Sheffield Eagles contingent taking in the game. Those who weren't able to feature this afternoon. Meanwhile,
well, it looks as if it's going to be a head assessment, doesn't it, this?
Yeah, they're certainly taking their time with Jordan Johnston.
And rightly so, you know, there is a protocol that must be followed with regard to this, and obviously Widnes doing that, and this looks like to be a head injury assessment interchange, and that card indicates so.
I think it's Sam Wilde, yeah, and that clarifies it as he turns around. So, obvious concern, and the key to making sure that he's okay, because he does look pretty dazed, doesn't he, actually, on reflection, and there's some concern within that bunch of Widnes fans as well, as they watch on. An early stoppage in play. Just 4 minutes gone, no points on the board. And the condition of Jordan Johnston really is proving a bit of a concern,
yes,
isn't it?
It really is. And this will really disrupt the Widnes interchanges. It plays long minutes, as Jordan Johnston. So it may well have been a strategy to play him the full game, but obviously that's gone straight away.
Well, it looks as though the stretcher will be required, and the utmost care taken, of course, for Jordan Johnston. So the Widnes hooker is down, and just when the momentum was starting to build, it's a little on the tough side to try and regain that back. It'll be interesting to see who does pick up the baton the quickest. Just taking a look into the directors' boxes here at Wembley. And, well, it's the neck board, isn't it? I think that's been...
It is, yes.
Prepared, so...
And this is the last thing that we needed for the game. It's certainly the last thing that the Widnes Vikings needed as well. You know, 4 minutes into the game.
So lots of care being taken to make sure that Johnston is carefully placed on the stretcher. Sam Wilde will have those butterflies in his tum as he prepares to enter the fray, but for the meantime all the focus is on Jordan Johnston and ensuring that he is taken care of here.
Yeah, really unfortunate, isn't it, that we've got this long delay so early in the game.
And some fans,
yeah, just enjoying the hospitality, shall I say. Some London Broncos.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I noticed James Cunningham there with the standing up and having a little dance. There's quite a few players on dual registration, aren't there, with Sheffield?
Yes,
obviously Ben Halliwell being one of them, who's starting this afternoon. And Widnes hopefully They will be hoping that their players can respond to this, and obviously that Jordan Johnston is okay in the longer term. And obviously there's such concern about Jordan Johnston, but this, well, they'll be relishing the fact that they're back on a big stage again.
They will, but they've got to take due care. You know, it's due diligence with the injury, and it is concern. I think that's indicated by some of the faces there, but they'll certainly enjoy themselves as the evening unfolds.
So let's hope that Johnston can be placed on the stretcher. There's plenty of medical concern. There's an eagle in the crowd, and some classic
Eric,
Sheffield
I think he's got that one.
Eric,
yeah.
Rather than Eddie.
Yeah.
Some real retro Sheffield shirts there.
Some good shirts there.
Yeah, well, aren't
they?
Yeah.
Yeah. This shirt's from the 90s there. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
They're as bad as me. They're keeping their old clothes.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah. And a bit of Yorkshire being cheered. And some Warrington fans have stuck about as well, which is good. Now, for them, whether, you know...
Who do you think they'll be following?
Exactly. No, I don't think the Yorkshire chants will be helping them much, but I think, you know, supporting Widnes is a no-go, isn't it? So.
There's some cracking hats there, though, isn't there? Yeah. Real good hats.
I don't know whether that was a hand-knitted eagle or not. And then the ladies up for a big night.
Yes.
Good way to kick it off.
Yeah. Well, they're getting into the spirit of things there. Those Eagle boys.
And there's the Eagle mascot himself, and he's ingratiating himself. Maybe trying to win a few fans for Sheffield.
Yeah, too right. Too right.
And it's bizarre, Saints and Warrington half and half kit there.
That's a nice one, isn't it?
I don't know, maybe that's a family loyalties thing, but...
It's great discussion, isn't it, between kids and an eagle? You know?
Exactly.
I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah. Well, a few people have popped down to try and... Well, they're going to get a photo with
good on them
now. Proving popular with some of the fans.
Alsi Krasniki there as well, another Bronco. Yeah.
Yeah, he's back in Super League again now,
yes,
isn't
he is playing real well with London. It's great, this, isn't it? It's like, you know, you used to have it in the newspapers, didn't they, where you spot the person with the circle. I think we're doing that.
He won free tickets. Yeah. Well, thankfully, Johnston is being helped off the field on the stretcher. We just, hopefully, it's nothing too concerning. Hopefully, it's just a precautionary measure, but he went down in the tackle, concern around the head. So it'll be a head injury assessment replacement for now, but I can't see Jordan Johnston coming back on, and Sam Wilde is on, and he will have to do some big minutes now.
And this is a real important time of the game as well, because when there's been such a long interruption, it's easy to lose that concentration, that focus, and we'll just see how both teams cope in this immediate set after the injury replacement.
Yeah, who's got the rhythm? Who's stayed sharpest? Who's stayed in the grind? Here comes Aaron Brown. Up over the 40, inside the Sheffield Eagles half, trying to clear the ruck. Chris Kendall was having none of it in terms of penalty. As the Eagles make it to the last tackle, just short of the halfway line. What will happen here? It'll be Patch Walker who puts up the bomb. It's a real swirler. Oh, plenty to do, and it was well taken in the end by Jaden Hatton.
Yeah, did really well Hatton there, because he really had spiraled it, and you could see the flight of the ball, couldn't you? Just dipping as he was in position, but fielded it very, very well indeed.
So Widnes through Gelling, who is well marshalled there. Back in field, it goes to Chris Dean. I expect that a few players will step into that acting half role just to try and keep Widnes ticking over without their kind of regular hooker.
Yeah, it's a difficult time for them, isn't it?
Cahill finds contact centre field. As Widnes look to move forward. Away to this right side, Gilmore sends the kick in behind. That's going to skip up. It's going to hold up. Hatton was there chasing. couldn't quite get to the ball, but again, a good kick in terms of pinning Sheffield back, and we're back into the grind again.
Yeah, it's one of the features of this Widnes team. They've got a right-footed kicker down the right channel in Gilmore, a left-footed one down the left channel in Craven, and both of them have got a fair old kick on them. Both very experienced, and obviously they're just looking to buy territory here and challenge Sheffield Eagles to bring it from their own line.
Okay, let's get tight.
So scrum, head and feed. 6 minutes gone. Long delay for the injury to Jordan Johnston, but here comes Sheffield, crabbing across field before looking to straighten things up in the centre. Thackeray gets the ball on, out to that right edge.
Yeah, just guzzed it, wasn't it there? A decent little carry there and a quick play.
As they attack down that right side once again. Blackmore looking for a pass out the tackle.
Hold.
He wasn't able to free his arm that time. Burns back in field to McAlim, who's putting himself about, and that's a real solid leg drive as Sheffield edge towards halfway. Thackeray, lovely pass at the line. And this is the last tackle for Sheffield. They are at least inside the Widnes half here as they look to finish the set. And the ball just clubbed downfield by Thackeray, but again, well placed Patrick Arvan, and he's one of those wingers who's a good kick return.
Yeah, you don't want to kick him the ball, make it a clean catch for him, but I thought up to the last tackle play there, that was a really good set by Sheffield, working the way up the field from that scrum, 10 metres from their own line, but I think Anthony Thackeray will be a little disappointed with his end. It's just too easy for Arvan on that left wing for Widnes.
Cahill heavily involved. He was saying just how much he appreciated the commitment of the Widnes supporters in saving the club, saying that kids were giving in their pocket money and that kind of thing. And that's what today's final is all about, as well as the obvious silverware on offer.
Move, Aaron! Come on!
Well, they're knocking the sets out, aren't they, both teams? That is for certain.
It's gone along at a fair lick, I think, is the phrase that could be used. McAlim, who's hovering at fullback, and he was absolutely crunched by Patrick Arvan. Not just a kick returner, but a kick chaser too.
And that was a great kick, was it, from Craven? Lots of hang time, which allowed Arvan to really steam up and really clatter Makelin. But fair dues, he kept all of the ball, and once again, they're bringing the ball out from their own end.
So Sheffield through Ben Helliwell. Trying to get a quick play of the ball. Burns. Bit of a step and a jink there from Blackmore.
Really gets involved, doesn't he? Bringing it from his own end.
Yeah, no standing on ceremony out wide. Brown well into the mix. 4 in the tackle. Ball comes loose. It's a penalty. It was deemed a strip by Chris Kendall. So Sheffield might gain some field position here. They'll certainly have the opportunity to kick, and you sense that the boots of Patch Walker might just launch them into position.
Yeah, well, it was who blinked first, wasn't it, in that? Because both teams have just been knocking sets out, and it's been Widnes who've been the first to back down there with an error, the error being a penalty. And this is a good ball set, an attacking set here for the Eagles.
Thackeray taps. Makelin hits the line. And the Sheffield fans sing good voice. I'm not sure how many gin and tonics or whatever they've had this afternoon, but they're certainly enjoying themselves. Up to the 30 they go. Into a decent position. Burns finds Walker, plays late at the line. Farrell, who's a Jamaica international, and worms his way inside the 20.
There's a real strong carry of the ball there. They couldn't put him down, you see.
Burns back in field, played at the line nicely, dropped off by Thackeray. McAlim again, coming on a good line. Was that Blackmore, actually, wasn't it? I think skittering back in field. Into the hands, it go through the hands. It's a delayed pass, looking for a loop wide. Obstruction call.
Yeah.
Well, they created the gap, and you can see how.
Yeah, they didn't get through the line quick enough. There wasn't a clear run through the line, and they just held up in the defensive line. And obviously the runner then went around the back of him, and obviously it obstructs one of the defenders. So correct decision from referee Chris Kendall.
And Widnes waste no time in banging it to touch. And again, it's being played at such a pace. I'm sure it's a little bit of is the adrenaline of playing at Wembley, the adrenaline of a cup final, but it's not disappointing.
Well, there's that, but at some stage fatigue will set in because it's still very warm, isn't it, Matt? So it's which team handles it the best. But one way of handling it is by cutting down the errors, which both teams have done really well.
Yeah, it's only really That one penalty that was given away, isn't there, that I can think of, really. And the obviously obstruction for one penalty for both sides. Christine looking to break the line. Well held up by Farrell, his opposite number. Gelling has a skip out of acting up. Tackle around the legs by Greg Burns. Offered, loaded in turn to Gilmore. Now it's Jack Owens into the attack, and he almost worked his way through before he was dragged to the floor. Widnes again attack that left edge through the hands from Craven. Playing out on that side, it's Harrison Hansen, a Wembley winner in the Challenge Cup with Wigan. There's Widnes on the last here. Will they go for the kick? It'll be Craven who sweeps one wide. The chase is on. Oh, it's a great chase. And Miller went for it. The ball bounced loose.
Knock on.
Knock on.
Yeah, the referee's giving a knock on there. But again, that really is an indication of the danger that both Gilmore and Craven, it was Craven that time with those lateral kicks where the winger, they give the ball enough hang time for the winger to challenge. And it's interesting to see that Bradley Walker, he's gone into the dummy half spot. So Wild obviously playing as a back rower, and Walker in there running the dummy half.
Blackmore wants a carry. He was baying for that play the ball to be quicker, and it was so quick that they've knocked on. And Widnes, well, he talked about blinking first. This could be a pivotal moment here. First score of the game may be on its way.
Well, this is the first time that I'm certain that there'll be a message sent on to defend the error from the Eagles, and they've made one 20 metres from their own line.
That's the problem. You go for it's high risk, isn't it? You want that quick play of the ball, but you've got to execute it so perfectly.
You've got to be really clean with the play of the ball. No doubt about that.
One of the players on that bench there, Blake Broadbent, the son of Paul Broadbent, the skipper, back in '98. And here come Widnes with a bit of shape to that left side. Lovely little offload to Arvan. Arvan will take on the line. He'll be held out inside the 10, but Widnes creeping closer. Through the hands, they'll unload once again. It'll be Brad Walker. Inside the 10 they move. As they'll target that left-hand side once again. Craven dropped one off, a lovely line from Arvan. Great pass at the line, and they've worked their way through. And Harrison Hansen might just have opened the scoring, and he has. Widnes take the lead against Sheffield. The error at the play the ball proving so costly. And Harrison Hansen took full advantage. It's Sheffield 0, Widnes 4.
Yeah, the error from Sheffield gave Widnes the field position. And what a clever little play that was down the short side. It went through Danny Craven, and there was the dummy to one player coming underneath him, but he picked up the big powerhouse, Patrick Arvan, who went through the line, and as he hit the fullback, just popped it up for Harrison Hansen, supported on the inside. A real high-quality try there. And that guy instrumental in it, Arvan, and that guy, the finisher, Harrison Hansen.
Such experience, that Super League experience is possibly where Widnes shade it in terms of the two squads. There's plenty of quality in both sides, but that extra level of Super League experience proving key there. Patrick Arvan, 205 games in his career, many of those played in the top flight. And of course, Harrison Hansen, such a key member, 2011 Challenge Cup winner, son of Shane. He's played in Grand Finals, played in Challenge Cup finals, and that proves key, doesn't it?
It does, and Jack Owen now looking to make the 4 into 6.
As he swings it on its way, the flags go up. It's a 6-point lead for Widnes. And we shall see just how Sheffield cope with this, because Widnes down back, potentially down 1 on the interchanges after Johnston, should I say, went off. Well, it's going to see how they respond to that.
Yeah, real good try that, but as you rightly pointed out in commentary, Matt, it all came about with that first header. First header 20 metres from their line, and you just can't invite teams onto your own line. It's a real difficult place to defend on your own line. It's a lot easier to put the ball deep, as Patch Walker's just done, and defend the opposition coming out of yardage.
And it's Hansen who winds up first, carry off the...
Get square! Wait, go on.
Off the restart. And once again, Widnes ramping things up now on the back of that try.
Yeah, the momentum's just with the Vikings, isn't it? You just sense that they've gained a great deal of confidence there, and this is a real good set coming away from their own line.
Little skip from Brad Walker, who can play in that kind of dummy half position. He's offloaded nicely, and Gilmore's got space to skip into. Plays it back on the inside to Chabohow, and Ted Chabohow's off on a rampage, and he's offloaded to Christine, and it's back-to-back tries. Widnes have just split Sheffield right through the middle. Ted Chabohow, the architect. The finisher was Christine, and more Super League experience comes to the fore. It's a 10-point lead for Widnes, and Sheffield trail.
Well, it all came from the offload, didn't it? A real good offload there, and Gilmore showed great presence of mind just to take the ball forward, and ultimately the beneficiary was Christine to cross for the try, and that really has hurt the Sheffield Eagles. You know, back to the last 2 sets, 2 tries, and you know, they'll be down now, but this is a test of their resolve. It really is.
Well, you can see Sheffield players under the sticks, Menzieri handing out the water, just trying to offer a few words of encouragement.
Yeah, Menzieri cup-tied, isn't he? He played for Doncaster in this cup in the earlier rounds, but Keith Senior going out there trying to give his words of wisdom, and it's important that Anthony Fackery and Patch Walker, who are prominent there, just grasp this, both in the 30s, both very experienced and real good quality halfbacks.
And now you can hear the Widnes fans. Now you can see them dance and sing and party. They won't care at Warrington have won the Challenge Cup. They'll be enjoying their own celebrations as it stands. So Owens, again, from close in, makes no mistake. 12 points to lead. Coming up to the first quarter of the game done. And Sheffield, on the back of 1 error, find themselves 2 scores down.
Yeah, back-to-back tries, and it really is. This set will be vital. I'm sure Keith Senior will have been out there with the message. This has got to be a deep kick, and it's got to be a squeaky clean defensive set with no penalties conceded and no misses.
So Pat Walker again sends it downfield. Oh, very close to slipping out of the grasp, but it was a well-taken catch in the end.
I don't know how wise it is kicking off to that side where you've got Cahill, because he is a handful.
Yeah, he keeps returning the ball, doesn't he? So does McGrath Luluai. He completes a quartet, a family quartet of Luluais to have played here at the National Stadium. Starting off with James Luluai back in the mid-80s. Running all the way through to McGrath, including Uncle Kylie. And, of course, his brother Tom.
Good kick that from Gilmore. Again, early in the tackle count.
Macklem had a chance to loop round to try and build up a head of steam, but that Widnes chase right up on them every time, Sheffield. But now they've got a chance from here, midway inside their own half. Blackmore trying to get them on the front foot.
Well, they're really doing a good job on Ben Blackmore. They're putting 3s and 4s in the tackles, and that's forced the error there. It's, again, trying to play the ball quickly, and he's come up with the error, and so that's error. Widnes try from the kickoff, then he'll complete a set from Widnes, then an error. So really, that's putting the guys in white under tremendous pressure.
Some glum faces on the Sheffield bench, especially those who are unable to impact proceedings, non-playing members of the squad. So the shot clock's off, the scrum will be fed, and from the base it was looped into the hands of Gilmore. A little dummy from Gelling as he pirouettes his way through. Walker putting pressure on along with Ben Helliwell there. Walker from the base of the scrum, from the base of the ruck, should I say, for Widnes.
Well, Sheffield have just done too much defending, haven't they? They're looking the tighter of the two teams. It's because the weight of possession has been in the Vikings' favour.
And they've edged their way to the 20 now, have Widnes, as they look to press down that short side. Walker to Craven. Oh, looking to bust the line again through Harrison Hansen. The numbers around him. They've turned him on his facing away from goal. And there'll be some concerned faces in that box at the moment. Sheffield under the pump. Widnes edging closer and closer. It will be Craven again with a kick to this right-hand side. Up goes Gelling. Gelling's come down with it, tries to dump it back. It's still live, and then eventually it's a Sheffield penalty.
Yeah, offside there off Anthony Gelling, but we called that earlier, didn't we? It's a ploy that they'll use frequently. He's such a big man. He's got great hands catching kicks. And he claimed the kick, but obviously tried to dump it and offload it, but he put it in a forward direction to have played in an offside position. So this is relief for Sheffield, it really is.
Joel Farrell tucks it under his arm and just takes it forward. No quarter asked or given. Kieran Patel, I think that was, just by virtue of the fact that I could see no hair.
I don't know whether he's got the sunglasses or it was the...
Exactly, yeah. Like one of the Blues Brothers or something, didn't he? Macklin taking on the line, and he almost got through, but in the end, really strong defence from Danny Craven. Aaron Brown into acting half. Thackeray jinks across the line, drops it off nicely. And they're in through Patrick Burns. Moving closer. Still tackles left in the bank here for Sheffield. Taken to the line that time. Brad Knowles it was. Looking to squeeze through. He'll play it inside the 10. They'll take it to the line. Brown goes for the line! Has Brown forced his way in? The try is awarded. And Sheffield Eagles, well, they've come up trumps. 4 points to 12. And Aaron Brown the scorer.
Well, how smart was that? How smart was Aaron Brown there? He went to dummy half. Everybody's expecting the kick on the last tackle. What does Aaron Brown do? It's a bit of a show and go, and then it's a shoved it over the line. Real clever play there from Brown, who was in at dummy half because the dummy half has been tackled, and that's so vital for Sheffield there. Really is. They're back in the game now with Walker with the kick, a comfortable kick to come from underneath the post.
I mean, it won't please the Widnes fans, but for anyone who's just wanted a contest out of this game, that's what we needed.
Yeah, very much so, but, you know, credit, that's the first chance they've had. That's the first chance Sheffield have really had on the Widnes end, and, you know, they've come away with points, so they will take great heart from that.
So it's been lined up by Patch Walker, and Walker thumps it through, and suddenly Sheffield, from looking a little wobbly, have rediscovered their poise, and it's 6 points to 12 and game on.
Yeah, very much game on there. Aaron Brown, the try scorer there, and the phlegmatic Patch Walker with the conversion.
He's a man you will know very well.
Oh, very much so, yeah. He's so laid back, he's virtually horizontal, I'll tell you. But this won't phase him playing here.
You can sense quite a few of the players relishing it. It's been a really good game so far, and we just hope that Jordan Johnston is okay, and then we can really enjoy what is and has been so far a real up-in-your-face contest.
That's been a cracking game, really has, and credit to both sets of players at this moment in time.
Yep, Sheffield very much have eyes on the playoffs, but this is a welcome distraction for them as Paddy Burns, brother, of course, of Greg Brown, takes it to the line, passes at the line, looking for an offload in the tackle here, but they're well wrapped up in the end as Nathan Mason tried to free that ball off the boot of Walker, I think it was again, as he was clobbered after that ball had gone, and then Hatton, who I was informed by Hep Cahill was one to watch, and he's come crabbing in field but stopped just 15 out.
Oh, they've got some really good young players, I've witnessed, and that's just a let-off, isn't it? You've just had a good set, you've kicked the ball into the opposition 20, you've made the tackle, and then all you've done is given them a piggyback up the field. But they've got Jaden Hatton on the wing, they've got Keenan Shepherd as well in the centre, both really good youngsters.
Now, Keenan Shepherd and Keenan Brand are clearly the same person. There must be a surname thing about that. A bit like Bradley Tagg and Bradley Knowles and Bradley Tagg.
Correct,
yes. So well, he's down as Shepherd on his clearly RFL registration.
Yeah, but I think when he went to school, if we're deciding to miss a session.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have had that opportunity. Gilmore moves in field up over the 40 inside the Sheffield Eagles half. Widnes having had their lead cut by that try from Aaron Brown. Now looking to regain that advantage as Walker, Brad Walker, goes right to the rook with Gilmore, played at the line to Cahill.
Yeah, it's interesting off the ball work there from Craven. He came right from the left-hand side, right to the right to try and make the extra man, but they picked the lead runner. But once again, Craven's over there.
Jack Owens,
Oh,
the ball's been stolen!
Thackeray.
And Thackeray's away! Anthony Thackeray, whose partner has flown back from Marbella to watch him in action with the in-laws and kids, has poached an absolute cracker, and Sheffield are back within 2 with a kick to come. What a piece of pickpocket magic from Anthony Thackeray.
Well, that will definitely be on the Widnes tip sheet, I'll tell you. He is renowned in the Championship for that one-on-one ball steal. You can remember Gavin Clinch years ago with how to clinch the pinch. Well, that's the pack. I don't know, he's come away with the ball there. And it's a great try. And the old Eagle,
I'll talk you through the way.
a little bit too excited.
I think
he's
he's
so good.
He's had a beard, hasn't he?
He's regaining his composure, let's put
Yeah.
it that way at the moment. Down there in front of the Sheffield fans who have been brought to their feet by that try.
Happy to tell him that's on telly.
Yeah, so we give him a shout. Hopefully he's still all right. He's handed his flag over back to the fan anyway. So Pat Walker, he's unruffled by such matters, just strokes it through. Parity, 12 apiece. What a final we're in for here. The inaugural 1895 Cup final is not disappointing.
Well, it's shaken but not stirred, that fella, isn't it? My word. I bet he's saying to Anthony Thacker, please don't pitch the ball again.
I just hope it's not heat exhaustion, because that suit is not what you want to be wearing today, is it? Believe me.
So there's Thackeray there. Great opportunist try, wasn't it? And, you know, it's all even Stevens once again.
So another teasing kick from the restart. They're really good at creating that hang time, as you put it, as Nathan Mason comes forward for Sheffield.
Yeah, he's a big fella, is Nathan Mason. He's one of those London Broncos players on dual registration who the Broncos lads will come along to support. And he's a big thing, is Nathan. He really is.
So the Eagles, there he is. Look at that, big bopper, I think is what you'd call that kind of physique.
No, you'd say you'd rather feed him for a week than a fortnight.
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
Here come Sheffield up over halfway. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. Somebody in Sheffield might do. Supermarkets will be happy. Last tackle kick then comes down to Patrick Arvan, 10 away, and they converge on him. But he's got a good leg drive about him, and he does have Sheffield sprawling a little back towards their own line.
But you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you? You've just scored a try, you complete that set. The first tackle's in the opposition 20, so Sheffield really have. They've rolled the sleeves up and they've worked their way back into this contest.
Anthony Gelling, tackled by Farrell around the legs, who peels away from the ruck. As Widnes march forward once again, it's Jay Chapelhouse turn to get a taste of the action. The two twins, the two Widnes boys, they've got a bit of a thing about brothers at Widnes, haven't they, with the Humes and the Chapelhouse. There's the kick from Craven, this time out towards that left side, and Sheffield's right, and they allowed it to become a contest. And Macklem, what's the call here? Turnover ball.
Oh, he's given that Arvan must have touched the ball first. It went and hit the Sheffield player, so that's a bit of a let-off there. But a real clear call there, wasn't it, from Macklem, because Blackmore just left him to it. So obviously he'd indicated he wanted the ball, but Arvan challenged, but it was Arvan who came up with the knock-on.
So Brown feeds it to Macklem, who will have another drive forward. Unrelenting wave of black shirts pouring forward to cut down the options. A little too unrelenting on that occasion. It's a penalty for Sheffield.
Well, that's good. That was a quick play, the ball that worked that time. They played the ball cleanly. Blackmore got out there and they've caught them offside. And Mark Aston will be very, very happy indeed at how his team's come back into it. Now they've got a bit of momentum, and this will be another attacking set.
Now the steam's cleared. It must have been all that frustration.
Well,
that's why we couldn't see him before.
I was just surprised seeing a shirt and tie.
No tracksuit today for Mark Aston. It's all about the trappings of a cup final. So Brown back in field to Thackeray, plays out the back, then to link up with Walker. Lovely little tip on there. Oh, and here comes Miller scampering in field. He had to cut him down. It was like a runaway train, the Sheffield winger. Macklin plays it to Walker, offers it up, here comes Bradley Knowles. They're 10 metres away now, Sheffield. What a turnaround it would be if they were to come up with some points here. Picked up by Brown, already got one try. Farrell's turn to test out the mettle of the Widnes defence. And for the moment, it is holding firm. Here comes Brown. Whizzes it back to the 10. Walker across to that right side. Good shape now. Low. It's a short ball. Oh, and they're in. Oh, it's been called off. It's been pulled back by Chris Kendall. And Sheffield denied a score.
So near. That was some real quality rugby, wasn't it? Lovely shape there, and the isolated defenders one-on-one. And Guzdek almost got over there, but the referee has rolled a forward pass. It's a fascinating game, isn't it? And credit to the players and the officials.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to give massive credit to Chris Kendall and his touch judges, because they've let the game flow. He's only pulled up what was glaringly obvious and blatant.
Well, I think the penalties are given are non-negotiables. You know, there's no 50-50s in there. So good on him.
Discipline of two teams and good referee.
Yep.
So Gelling.
And two teams have come to play.
Indeed, and they want to play. And that's what we've been served up so far, a real treat. As Dan Norman that time, who's been a regular for Widnes this season. Played 16 games. 21-year-old from Warrington. Maybe a double reason for him to celebrate.
He did well to recover there, didn't he, Lulwai?
Yeah, almost squirted up and away, and a clever kick in behind. Looking to turn Sheffield round. Macklin booms it back in field and gives Ryan Miller plenty to do, and Miller bumps off one, and he's still going here, and he might just get away, and he does get away, and if he can find a little pass round the corner.
High tackle.
Oh, he got high-shotted instead.
Smart what Macklin did there, isn't it? Because this Miller, he can catch pigeons. He's quick. So what they're trying to do is give him the ball in some space, challenge the Widnes defenders. And my word, that was a real quality kick return, and that's won the penalty.
Well, we've already seen Matt Davies, former Leicester Storm player, win a Challenge Cup today. We've got a player in the shape of Ryan Miller, who was with the Birmingham side in the Midlands League.
Yeah, Mark Hassan picked him up, didn't he, from the Midlands Academy, and very much the Sheffield Eagles have developed him into a fine wingman.
Yeah, causing real problems. 20 in 29 this season. Knowles plays at the line. Walker with a little flat pass. Trying to test out that Widnes middle again, but Harrison Hansen put his considerable bulk in the way. Little dummy there. Pick looking for a wraparound with Brown, and Brown's opened things up. Brilliant steam train run from him. Farrell will take it. Whizzes it back in field. Thackeray onto Walker. Walker with the chip kick to the corner. Oh, right into Arvan's hands. Well, good movement from Arvan, but Guzdek just wasn't able to make it a contest.
Yeah, it was smart though, Arvan, wasn't he? He pulled away from the ball so he could then run and attack it. So a smart wing play there. But I think Patchwork will be disappointed with his end of that set, because it could have been a little more challenging with a little more hang time.
So, Widnes Vikings. Oh,
offside.
Sheffield masters of their own downfall there.
Yeah, I think he got that exactly right once again. But it's a let-off, isn't it?
Well, this game is really just romped on. It's now almost 34 minutes gone, and it's gone in a flash, hasn't it?
Blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. Cracking game.
So the tap from Gelling. Here come Widnes.
Good leg drive there. Meters after contact.
Yeah, one of the Chapel Hows. Was it that time, maybe? Away to that right side. It wasn't that in the end. It was Dan Norman again, who's really putting himself about.
His work rate's been very, very high. Craven's come from the left again to get the ball.
And Craven with a huge dummy. Almost poked his nose through. A last gasp drag around the legs. Here comes Gilmore. Gilmore poking in, and he has scored. Burrowing in through the Sheffield defence. Chris Kendall awards the try, and Widnes retake the lead at Sheffield 12, Widnes 16.
Yeah, well, once again, it's come from the error, the penalty. A simple offside penalty, and that's an element of discipline Mark Castle will be very, very disappointed with. but then Craven kick swept from the left side to the right, created extra man, made a half break, quick play the ball, and then Gilmore had the presence of mind to pick up, and over he went to once again restore Widnes' lead.
So Sheffield, you can see hands on heads in that backfield. Brad Knowles just had his hands on his head, and you can almost sense that they know that that was avoidable.
Yeah, very much so. But Jack Owens there, who's the guy who tags on the extras, he's a very, very reliable kicker. Got a high kick percentage in the championship, so he'll be very confident of this, even on such a stage.
Yeah, former Sheffield Eagles loanee Jack Owens had a spell in South Yorkshire, 5 tries, 17 games for them, but for Widnes this season, he's kicked 95 goals before today, and he's added another 3 as he closes in on 100. And Jack Owens makes it a 6-point lead once again for Widnes as we move within 4 minutes of the break.
Well, we remembered last time, didn't we, after Widnes scored, they backed it up with back-to-back tries, and I'm certain that will be a message from Mark Aston to get out there and make sure it doesn't happen once again.
And so back to the middle, Sheffield go. Once again, they will have to kick off to Widnes, who will get the ball back, and again they've swirled a spiral, and that was a real wickedly dipping one, but Jack Owens was really smart, came out to the 10, took a knee and just welcomed it into his chest.
Yeah, and got a quick play the ball on the back of it as well, so good on him.
Yeah, Widnes have the tails up now on the back of that score. Walker to Craven, now to Harrison Hansen. Don't think quite Keenan Brown quite got the line there. Yeah, and Sheffield rolling more than back almost.
They forced the header. Forced the header. Oh, no, the referee's given a penalty. Well, I think Sheffield will feel a little aggrieved at that because they got 3-4 in the tackle. Came from the inside, leg drive to send Harrison Hansen back. But the referee's rule, it was a illegal ball steal.
And so with half-time beckoning, 3 minutes with the clock stop. It looks as though Widnes will have one, if not more, opportunities to have a pop at Sheffield's line once again.
Yes, well, it's good field position for them, isn't it?
Yeah, full set of 6, 40 metres away. Here goes Brandon, field to Craven.
Oh!
Bell-ringing stuff there.
He read that one, doesn't he? Get that into you. My word, what a tackle.
Brad Knowles just thundered in. Now Chapel House turn to pick up for Widnes. He was tackled by Farrell. Infield it goes to Craven, short ball, and they're looking to get Norman away.
He's made a real impression, hasn't he, since he's come off the bench?
Yeah, some big dints into that Sheffield line. Luluai plays it on, away to this short side with Chris Dean. He's got a try to his name. And they're almost within 10. Back in field it goes, Gilmore through the hands. Walker to Craven. Craven dummies back, a little pirouette, and an obstruction call.
Yeah, and rightly so as well. Great spot that, Matt. Yeah, it was a little short, but he actually used the man, didn't he, to just engineer the gap and then went through the gap. So, again, Chris Kendall on the ball.
And Walker slugs it towards halfway. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. 12 points to 18 in Widnes' favour. And what can they do? The back end of the half, Davies come on to add a little bit of...
Yeah, he's really quick, you know, James Davey out of dummy half, so he'll be lucky for quick play the balls so he can take off, but you won't get quick play the balls like that.
Aaron Brown, the hero in this first half, coughs up the ball, and that might have been the last opportunity for Sheffield in this first half. Widnes will pack down. They want to get on with things. They've got the clock stopped, so it's just down to the shot clock now. 1 minute and 9 seconds for Widnes to have one last go.
Well, it's a full set, Matt. That's a full set, so Widnes can build a really good set here and finish with a good one. But it's down to Sheffield to prevent them, and Anthony Gelling certainly causing some problems.
Yeah, some rubber-legged stepping from him. But Sheffield makes sure that he's going no further through Farrell. Played infield. Norman again, rocked in the tackle that time. It was almost a kidney bruiser, that one, wasn't it? Third man. You can almost feel that. As Chapel Howe, Jay Chapel Howe, creeping forward once again. Brad Walker's done well at dummy half, and Luluai's turn. Making meters. Just chewing down the clock here. Chapel Howe will have another dig through the middle. They're almost to the 10.
Drop goal here from Craven.
Yeah, he's in the pocket, isn't he? Craven will bang the drop goal if he can get in on target. No good, says Chris Kendall.
Great pressure from Anthony Thackeray there. You could see what they were doing. They were setting up for that 1 point, which made it a 2-score game. Thackeray read it, and he really did fly out of the defensive line, inside and onside, the correct way to do kick pressure, and he saved Sheffield Eagles a point there. Good on him.
So Thackeray, it will come and be taken forward. They're going to run out of time here, Sheffield. The hooter will go in just a second. One last Hollywood play at the back end of this first half. Patch Walker will take it to the line. Walker loops one wide. Now it's Ryan Miller hacking back in field. Patrick Garvan should get this, and he'll probably just run it dead or boot it into touch, which is exactly what it does. And that brings the first half to a close. Sheffield Eagles 12, Widnes 18 at halfway, John.
And what a cracking game we've had there. You know, Widnes forging a 12-point lead, and Sheffield showing great character, great desire to come back to even the scores up, and then a quality try at the end to put it 18-12, and those fans getting absolutely full value for money.
The only sour note is obviously the injury to Jordan Johnston. We hope he's okay, but otherwise it's been fully committed, terrific fare. Two sides, as you put it quite plainly, came here to play.
Great game, and a true reflection of the performances. 18-12, all to play for.
So Sheffield might well rue a couple of those errors in that first half, but they have been in the game. Widnes, having built up a 12 points to 0 lead, saw that cancelled out, but fall back towards the back end of the half with that crucial score. So half-time. Sheffield Eagles against the Widnes Vikings. 6 points in it then. At half-time, we will be back for full second half commentary. Myself, Matt Newsom and John Keir, and the half-time score, Sheffield 12, Widnes 18 in the 1895 Cup Final.
Returning for the final 40 minutes. Welcome back, Sheffield Eagles!
So the two sides emerge back onto the field here at Wembley. The second 40 minutes, Mark Aston down from his box to sample a bit of the pitch side atmosphere and feeling. His Sheffield Eagles side trail by 6 points after that first half. Widnes, who will kick us off for the second 40, leading by 18 points to 12. John Keir's alongside me, the Challenge Cup master. This 1895 Cup final is well in the balance, but it's also been a real corker of a game.
It's been a high-standard game of rugby league, no doubt about that. And as you've rightly called, Matt, it is in the balance. It's anybody's game, and they'll be looking for a compelling second-half performance from one of these sides to close out the cup.
Yeah, trophy up for grabs, the inaugural 1895 Cup. And of course, your man of the match, which can be selected on the Rugby Football League's Our League app. The Ray French Award for the man of the match for this one will be presented by the man himself.
Clever there from Mark Aston. His instruction to Ben Blackmore was to get away from dummy half. He took it at first receiver, got a quick play of the ball, and then Davey went. So smart stuff there from the Sheffield Eagles.
Noted a few lessons from the first half, clearly. So here come the Eagles, and a little bit of intimidation attempted there by...
It's another cracker, is that kick.
Oh, it's a real spiral. If they can get there before it goes dead. Oh, there's Joel Farrell with a huge try. The kick caused chaos, and Sheffield pounce. Joel Farrell got there in time. Back within two again, cracking open this game within 2 minutes of the second half. Sheffield 16, Widnes 18, and again, game on.
You couldn't have asked for a better start, could you, to this half from Sheffield Eagles. The first set, they got Blackmore a little bit wider. It caused problems coming out of their own end of the set. We saw it in the first half, Matt, where Patch Walker puts those spiral kicks up, and they are absolutely wicked how they come down the trajectory, how they drop. And obviously it caused a heck of a problem there for Jaden Hatton. And Joel Farrell was alert enough there with his kick chase to actually clinch the try by grounding the ball in the in goal. So quality kick from Walker, quality chase from Farrell with a resulting try.
And so the impetus now to bring them level again. Sheffield Eagles. Walker from the left-hand side sends it on its way, end over end. Oh, the flag stayed down, pulled it across the face. So it's a 2-point lead now for Widnes. Sheffield creeping right up in the game.
Yeah, they've really put the cat among the pigeons there. They haven't let this Widnes side settle at all. End of the first set, result was a try. So it'll be interesting to see what results from this set, this back-to-back set that the Eagles are getting.
So it's Craven who bangs it downfield, comes down for the full-back. I think we've got him down as Macallim today.
Well, he's certainly not playing loose forward, is he?
He's not, no. No, he's definitely not. A little bit of deception on the team sheet. Words for Mark Aston about that one. So interacting half Davey, we talked about his impetus. He didn't get much time to show what he's all about in that first half, but since he's come on.
Blackmore again at first receiver rather than dummy half.
So he's got to run onto that ball. He can hit that ball at pace. And that's exactly what Sheffield are trying to do here as they close in on the halfway line. Davey again, decent distribution from the base, and here's a lovely little gallivant, I think it was, from Knowles that time. He'll play it quickly. Come to the right to the rook, and Thackeray just prods the kick in behind. Jack Owens happy to watch it trickle out of play.
Great set, wasn't it, once again. They've scored the try of the first set, received the second test. They asked some questions of the Widnes defence. And then it's a lovely end there from Anthony Thacker, just drilling it over the sideline. So it's a set restart. So his defensive line will be set, ready for the Widnes onslaught.
Yeah, they've got their line. They've just got the one man on that short side, expecting Widnes to go to the open, which is where they've lined up all their runners. So here we come, base of the scrum. Patrick Arvan took it in off first receiver.
Well, when you're that big, you would give him the ball, wouldn't you?
Aye, a big physical unit out on that wing. And Sheffield trying to slow down Widnes' forward momentum here. Away to that far side, it's Chris Dean who got a try in that first period. Wriggles back, Walker comes down the short side again as Widnes expects some joy down Sheffield's left-hand side, but it's a penalty for a high tackle, and Widnes will just claim some extra meters here when this kick goes to touch, and Ben Halliwell, the man who was pinged.
Yeah, and that's the last thing they wanted, because it was late in the tackle count. Widnes had already got good ground, then he's given the penalty away, and obviously this is a restart of a set, a back-to-back set, and it's in a good field position.
So 2 points the lead for Widnes, 18-16 here at Wembley. The inaugural 1895 Cup will be decided here, and it's Luluai bumping and buffeting as Davey made the tackle. That marker, here comes Chapelhow as he spins his way forward. Jay Chapelhow was that time. Walker away to that right side, Gilmore. Craven's popped up there again. Craven almost got through. Farrell with a bit of a judo roll in the end to bring him down. They're still well poised here. They're just outside the 10. Gilmore drops it off nicely. Luluai's turn as he is smuggled to the floor by the Sheffield Eagles defence here. Walker to the left-hand side. Chapelhow wraparound play. Lovely line from Harrison Hansen. Bit too close quarters for their own good. Sheffield shot up, shut down the space, and they force the error, and it'll be a scrum head and feet to the Eagles.
Yeah, you've got it there, Matt. It's just playing too much in the teeth of the line there. Put real pressure on Harrison Hansen. It was trying to receive the ball, because as soon as he got the ball, he got a man, and that's a good defensive set there for the Sheffield Eagles. So they've defended that penalty. They'll take great heart from that.
Still a long way to go in this game, and of course if they're going to march down the other end, but at the moment, you have to say. It's anyone's game. Thackeray to Davey. And the Eagles make another forward charge. From deep inside their own end, it's Makelin who, with a bit of footwork, tries to squeeze himself through a gap. Davey picks him back in half. Plenty of just simple distribution from him so far. As the game progresses, do you anticipate he will spot those gaps and have a little...
As soon as there's a loose ruck or a fractured ruck, he'll take off, Matt, he really will.
He tells Makelin to leave it. It is another slow play of the ball, and there he has. He's just bolted out of acting half, hasn't he?
Thank you, James.
On cue. He read the script. Back it goes for Walker again, who under pressure hoists it downfield. Oh, that's a real horror of a kick. It went backwards as Jack Owens tried to grab it, says Chris Kendall, and Jack Owens got away with that because, again, it was swinging about wildly, and he got away with it.
I think Owens and Hatton and Evan can expect more of those, because obviously it's a good weapon that Sheffield have got, and Patch Walker's putting it to full use.
He's got them spooked at the moment. There's a quick play the ball from Brown. Here comes Arvan, dragging Widnes through the centre of the field up to halfway. Walker has a little peek either side. Gelling, been quiet in the second half, gets a nice offload away after backing into the tackle. There was maybe another offload in there then, because Widnes are on the last tackle here.
You just sense, though, with Anthony Gelling, he can produce something, don't you? And that's a lovely little kick once again from Craven, left footer, just into the corner pocket. And the challenge now is for Sheffield Eagle to bring it out.
They've got plenty of big runners, Aaron Miller being one of them. We saw in the first half just how elusive he can be, but
I like the look of him. I really like the look of him.
And Blackmore as well, picking up again, that just standing off the ruck now, as you were saying, John, first receiver, and getting a head of steam up before he takes those passes in, instead of trying to jam out of the base of the ruck. David gets it onto Mason, thinks about the pass. He's still going here. He's got a man outside of him, and now Blackmore has got a bit of space to run into. He's got support on the inside from Thackeray. Has he got support there still? Back inside and out. It's a last-ditch tackle. It's a Hollywood offload, and Widnes have bounced on the ball, but it's come loose. And now Gustek's got it, and Gustek's giving it to Brown, and Sheffield have taken the lead. 20 points to 18. They turned it on its head, and that is wonderful play. They went for the offload. It looked as though it had not paid off, but it did. And Gustek fed Brown, tried number 2 of the game, and the Eagles have roared into the lead.
What a cracking try that was. I mean, we've seen some great tries in the Challenge Cup final in this, but that's the best try of the day. Really the best try of the day. Engineered space on the outside, with Thackeray decided to run it rather than kick. Release Blackmore, then he supports on the inside. Blackmore gets the ball back, so it was the old 1-2, and then just as going into touch, as you call it, the Hollywood offload, flicks it inside. The first people to react are the Sheffield Eagles, Gusdek, and then offloads to Brown, who crosses for his second try. That is a great try to take the lead with.
So bang in front of the post, Pat Walker. We've seen him have a dig from all over the place, but this one is a simple one, and this time he makes no mistake, and it's a 4-point lead. 22-18. Sheffield Eagles have stunned that huge Widnes contingent here at Wembley.
Well, whatever Mark Aston said at half-time, it's worked, hasn't it? This first 10 minutes, they've been very, very dominant with ball in hand at Sheffield, and they've been very, very competent defensively as well.
So Widnes back to the middle again, back to a restart. Another tricky kick, bounces up over the head of Makelin. Oh, and they had to take that touch there. Did Ryan Miller. It looked as though it was heading dead. And
there's a good kick-off, wasn't it? That put them straight under pressure. Very relieved they've claimed that, because it's a lot different to work the ball from your own end rather than have to drop out to the opposition and give them the ball. So they'll be very grateful for Miller to pouch that and bring it back into play.
Yeah, especially when you think the reception they'll get from Mark Aston. If that had gone dead, you can just almost feel the glare, couldn't you, from piercing down from the coach's box. And they got away with it, Davey. to Thackeray, who hammers the ball into that space between fullback and winger. It skips out towards Hatton on that far side, who has to take a touch first.
I'll tell you, both teams' kicking game have been very, very good, haven't they? Walker and Thackeray for the Eagles and Craven and Gilmour for Widnes. Really good how they're ending the sets.
Yes, not allowing anybody time to settle, any chance to just switch off. You've got to stay clocked on at the moment in this one. As Sam Wilde, former Warrington player, crawls towards halfway. Gelling, that's a step we were looking for. Oh, it's a beautiful offload, Jack Owens. Pat Walker had to make that tackle.
Exactly what we said, wasn't it? He could produce something out of nothing. Anthony Gelling almost did there.
Cahill spinning in the tackle, driving with the legs, backing in, last tackle inside the 20. Jack Owens has gone to act in half. He'll go to the right of the ruck this time. Gilmour with a cut-out ball. Gelling on the outside. He couldn't get the offload away. And Sheffield will count that as a big defensive win and a turnover.
Yeah, Ben Halliwell did very, very well there. One-on-one with Anthony Gelling, 10 metres from your own line. That's a tough ask, but he answered that question, did Halliwell. Well done.
Widnes cranking up the line speed, trying to limit Sheffield to within their own half here as they look to break out. Bit of an exit strategy, took it up the jumper and make some meters, basically. Here comes Blake Broadbent, the young lad, the son of Paul, the skipper.
Yeah,
be Sheffield's greatest
a very
hour.
proud man, will Paul, he really will. Captained the Eagles to that great win in '98, and then to see his son out there 21 years later. His wife Cindy was actually pregnant with Blake when they won the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, I think somebody asked him. Here comes Thackeray, by the way. We'll come back to that in just a second. Thackeray hacked ahead. Oh, is that an obstruction call? And it is a penalty.
It is. Well done, Anthony Thackeray there. A bit of variation in the kicking game. Just a little chip kick, then he hacked it on. And it was obstruction. I think
penalty.
Chris Kendall's done a cracking job, you know, today. Because the game's been open, it's been quick, but he's been very assertive with his decisions. And as he's telling Mr. Harvan, get back on your wing, big fella.
So I wonder what the call will be here. Pat Walker is going to go for the 2, isn't he? Long way out.
Well, it's understandable, though, because it's very hot. This takes them a full score ahead. And I tell you, he's a more than capable kicker, 35 metres out in front of the sticks. He'll miss it now, though, won't he?
Jinx. Yeah, just on the subject, well, Pat Walker lines up the kick. I think Blake was saying that somebody had asked him like what he remembered of the game, and that Paul stepped in and just said nothing because he was still in the womb. So there we go. Oh, and Pat Walker has missed it, John. So
well, he's missed it, but the fact is he put it dead. So it will be a 20-metre drop out, so they'll still get the ball back.
They've not lost too much advantage.
Just a bit of field positioning. I think that was worth it for the risk of the 2 points. It's a risk and reward job, isn't it?
Absolutely. Craven belts it downfield. Taken down by Makelim, and then it's wound up by Sean Pick.
One, move, get square.
The middle unit players for Sheffield have been really well, haven't they? Mason, Pick, Knowles, and now young Blake Broadbent.
Yeah, big fan of the way they've gone about their business. It's real, very much like the Challenge Cup final. 2 big packs, or 2 very good packs. Thackeray playing at pace. Thackeray went through, passed the ball off to Guzde. Great offload, make him! It's opened up for him here. Oh, that's wonderful from Sheffield. Top draw stuff in this second half. Corey Makelim has scored again, and Sheffield stretched the lead out. But they didn't kick the goal. They did even better. They scored a try.
Well, what a fantastic try as well, wasn't it? The shape was superb there from Sheffield. It was Patch Walker who took the ball at the line, hit the back man, which was Thackeray, and he just put the burners on, and that released Guzde, who got on the outside of his defender, and up popped on the inside. Makelin, the loose forward, come fullback, and over he goes behind the post. What a great try, and he's as happy as an eagle.
He's getting a little bit of celebrate. The steward's getting involved now. Everyone's enjoying it. Of a Sheffield persuasion anyway, and Mark Aston.
Can you tell that steward he can smile?
I don't know whether Mark Aston's got a stress ball in there or a baseball, but he was seemed to be chucking something around. It didn't look like his walkie-talkie either, but got to stay cool somehow, haven't you, John?
Yeah. Well,
1 minute.
Patch Walker's not very happy with the sideline because they haven't got the ball out there. Menziere out with the Watson, the
just seeing how
do you know his nickname, Menziere?
Jukebox.
Jukebox, because he likes the big hits.
Yeah. It's got to be one of the best out there, isn't it? And that is clipped through. The old Australian one, Phil Sigsworth. Is it what's a packeter, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure that was his nickname.
I don't know.
What's a packet of Sigsworth? I'm sure that's right. Somebody will tweet me and go,
that went over my head, that one.
Nonsense.
That was over my head.
It should be your era, that one, John.
No,
Oh,
I like it a lot simpler than that, Matt.
Kiri.
One, move, get square. Wait, go.
Sheffield Eagles 10 points ahead now.
Two,
Widnes with the
move,
job to
hey.
do. All of a sudden,
Wait.
it has turned. This encounter at Wembley.
It's great entertainment, isn't it? It really is.
Some really high quality tries, very much so.
But
Brown.
what they've done, Matt, they've represented their competition, the Championship, really, really well.
We've seen some cracking efforts from Championship clubs, your own Bradford side included, this season. Halifax in the Challenge Cup have done them proud. These two sides here in front of a national stage at the National Stadium.
Tell you what, young Hatton positioned himself really well there. He realised Thackeray was going for the sideline and he covered that and claimed it on the full.
I think he'd have taken it after, given that it wasn't a spiralling
Yes,
bomb.
yeah.
No more of those, please, I'm sure, is the call. Gelling, we talked about the magic. That was a lovely offload, but Gilmore had to stretch to get it, and that gave Sheffield time.
He's getting more involved, isn't he, Anthony Gelling?
Yeah, he's come in to try and add a little bit of craft to that middle for Widnes, and they'll need it. They trail by 10, 28-18. Skip from Acton half. And this is the last tackle. On that occasion, it was Jack Owens who's coming to try and zip things up a little bit. Craven just dabs it in behind. It'll pop up for Makelin, but the chase is on him immediately, and they'll try and drag him back towards his own in goal, but just about keeps his front in the field of play.
It really pulls the ball up, doesn't it, in that pocket, Craven. A lovely little dab through, and look at this now. Widnes really have. They've got the bit between their teeth. They're flying off the defensive line.
The only good thing for Sheffield is they've got two kickers in the backfield who have got the distance, haven't they, to clear it.
But that's 3 tackles, Matt, already. So we're on tackle 4, and they're still 5 metres from their own line. What a great defensive set from Widnes.
As long as Widnes don't cough up a penalty here, they have absolutely bossed this set. It's defence as attack almost in its own way, isn't it? Walker with a real tester. Swings it downfield.
But look at the reward for that. All that energy that they're loaded in defence, the reward is a play the ball on the halfway line. Real quality defensive work from the Vikings.
It'll be Keenan Brown who takes it, and he's not happy with the treatment he got from Aaron Brown there. Harrison Hansen straightening things up. Well accounted for by Farrell on that occasion. Hansen gingerly gets back to his feet to play, just over halfway up to the 40. Chapel again. Harrison Hansen does not look it in a good way at all in backfield.
He's struggling, isn't he? But good offload there.
Already down, wanting to change. They can't really afford another. Oh, that's a lovely kick from Gilmore. The chase is on. Widnes almost made it there. The ball bounced on by Miller.
Knock
We'll
on.
come back for the knock on.
Well, but the first job's done. The job was to defuse the situation, and yes, he's given a knock on, but it prevented the. It's the knock on is from Widnes. He's ruled that it was Hatton chasing who knocked on, and then Miller obviously reacted quickly to claim the ball, and referee ruled no advantage, so it's Sheffield head and feed.
So hour gone, 20 to play.
Interesting though that Harrison Hansen just sent the trainer off to get off. I'm staying on this field.
Yeah, nobody wants to come off Wembley, do they? Dragged off, Pick. It is who carts it in that time. Hansen still hanging around that middle, looking to put his body on the line. Not involved in that tackle though, as Cahill creeps away from the ruck. They are running aground a little here, Sheffield, not for the first time in the last couple of minutes. Widnes line speed is ferocious. They might find them on the outside here, maybe.
Yeah, they're really front-loading their energy, but Sheffield are doing well also because they're just completing. They're saying, yeah, keep coming at us, fellas. We'll take the knocks, but we'll just keep looking after the ball and finish with a long kick.
Which is what's coming now, and it's Thackeray this time who just stubs it along the ground.
But that was element, wasn't it, too? I think it was Craven that got out of the line and pressured Thackeray, so he saved his side some yards there. So they'll be happy once again with that Widnes, but Sheffield will keep making them front-load their energy, and it's similar to the Challenge Cup. You know, St Helens did that, but Warrington just kept knocking sets out and kept the errors down, and ultimately they came away victorious.
Chris Kendall, he's not pulled many things back today, but not happy with that scrum, put it that way. Much better that time. Widnes have it. Looking for a big shift here. Jack Owens maybe spotting a gap, but Sheffield shut it very quickly. Gelling hovers. And Gelling was absolutely
good
crunched.
marker work. How smart was that? Was that Patch Walker? How smart was that? He saw that Gelling was there. He anticipated the scoop from dummy half. Walloped him, forced the header, got a penalty. Great play from Walker.
And now Brad Walker and Joel Farrell. Temper's starting to flare. To be fair to both sets of players, there are a few peacemakers in there. Brad Knowles keeping peace.
Yeah.
Likewise Tom Gilmore.
Yeah.
Frustration's boiling over.
Yeah, Walker's reacted to Joel Farrell, but I'll tell you, Joel could cause an argument in a phone box. So he's the wrong one to pick on.
And there's the obligatory stairs. And Joel Farrell gets away with it this time. It was a high shot on Sean Pick initially. As he came steaming through, there was one that would have taken his head off it. He made proper contact, but it didn't. And Pat Walker this time will take the team to make it a 12-point lead, and that's obviously 2 converted scores.
Correct. And the refs just having a little word in the background with Joel Farrell. Just, I'll deal with it. I'll referee, you play.
We don't need any renegades here, Joel. So Patch Walker, as the sun dips behind the stands, no longer bathed in sunshine Wembley, the flag stayed down, but again he's put it dead, and again they'll get the ball back off the dropout. So it's, like you say, it's not a bad policy, and last time they got a try off it.
Yeah, and he's disappointed, this Patch Walker, but he's put it dead. And again, as well, when you're in front, the clock's your friend, isn't it? So there's no issue with that. We've got the ball back. See how they go on there, the Eagles.
Pick hammers in. He's floored by some physical contact. Couple of shoulders digging in on that occasion. As they'll make their way forward here. How well it was that time. Farrell unloads on the Widnes line. Went straight at Sam Weil. No love lost there. Davey plays out the back to Walker. That's lovely shape here. Thackeray. Oh, they've got Makelim coming into the backfield. Makelim chips in.
Play some good rugby, don't they? When they've set the point, they've got nice shape. They've got half-backs who really get at the line.
Thackeray again, as you say, an experienced player. Now Walker, them linking up both of them. Farrell took the short ball this time. Muscled to the floor. Last tackle here for Sheffield. As they move to within 20 metres of the line, it'll be a Thackeray kip over the top. The chase is there from Gustek. Gustek might have come over there, and Gustek might have put it down. But he's knocked on.
But what you do when you end a set like that, you've stressed the defence out, haven't you? They're glad that it's a scrum because they know, you know, for the fraction of an inch or whatever that he was away from that could have been a try. So again, a good set, a good end from the Eagles. Widnes just needs someone to inject. Gelling's been trying to. They need an Avant to make a bust or something like that just to lift the spirits.
Just under, or should I say, just over a quarter of an hour remaining here. The 1895 Cup Final. Never get your man of the match selections via the Our League app, the Rugby Football League's official app, here on BBC Sport. Red button online and connected TVs. It's Gelling out on the right-hand side. Man of the match award is obviously the Ray French Award this time as well.
They've policed Anthony Gelling really well, haven't they? They're obviously aware of his threat and his ability. But here's a half a chance from Owen, who's they're shifting the ball in their own half now. Widnes, they realise they've got to make something happen.
Yeah, at the moment, the scoreboard creeping out ahead of them in a way they don't want. 10 points in it. Sheffield managing the game nicely at the moment. Craven will pump that ball downfield again, looking to split fullback and winger. Ryan Miller's come across to it, but he's got a good 10-15 metres before they eventually catch up with him, and he still proves really tough to bring down.
But I love the skill from Craven. He's got the ball on it's on a piece of string as he pulls it up, just stopping round about the in-goal area. But as you rightly said, credit to Miller, because that was a great return also.
Oh, and they've given it away, and this is a good position here, and Widnes will chance their arm through Dean. It was the error from Aaron Brown, who's been a hero on 2 occasions with 2 tries, but he's given Widnes a foothold here and a bit of a chink of light as Cahill forces his way inside the 10.
Well, that's the chance they've been waiting for, isn't it?
Patience is a virtue. Here they come away to the right side. Gilmore, cut-out ball, picks out Gelling, trying to get on the outside. Sheffield have numbered up well. Gelling floored, just 5 metres away. Looking to force their way through. Widnes have options. Wild has a pop. And Sheffield stand firm.
Yeah, plenty of tackles left though, Matt, haven't they?
They have, and they're close to the line once again. Away to this left side maybe. Double pump, a dummy from Craven. Floored close to the line.
Great
He's knocked
defence.
on.
It's Brad Knowles again. What great defence there. His physicality forced the error. Poked his nose through it. Craven, he looked if he was getting through. Then Knowles very physical with him and forced the error. So well done. You know, they defended that error very, very well indeed.
What I loved about it most is he put a massive shot on and then helped him back to his feet, gave him a tap, and then celebrated with his teammates.
Yeah.
Sportsmanship, hard, tough players, but sportsmen.
Yeah, very much so. He obviously told Craven he'd get another as well next time.
Let's go, cut down.
That's what we play the game for.
All in, time I call.
Guzdek feeding the scrum that time. So from deep inside their own end, Sheffield, 10 points in it. 12 and a half to play, and it's a pensive Mark Aston and a Keith Senior. Keith Senior, by the way, has ridden his bike all the way down from West Yorkshire. And he's as fit as a fiddle, and he could be playing.
43 years old, and he looks as if he could play, doesn't he? He'll be pleased I've told everybody his age now as well. So
still looking as fit as ever. Keith Senior. Not all of his Challenge Cup memories are as happy as the one in '98, of course. As you will know, John.
Yes. Yes.
So last tackle, just over halfway. Sheffield Eagles will finish the set on their terms again, and Patch Walker was cleaned out by Hep Cahill, but it's another kick into the corner, forcing Widnes to play big, and Aaron Brown with a boomer.
It's a
shoulder
penalty. Shoulder charge, I think. He lined him up, didn't he, Aaron Brown, but I just think he didn't use his arms. His hand was tucked underneath. It's a shoulder charge on young Jaden Hatton. I think that's what the penalty's for.
Well, he's a postman, Aaron Brown, and I was almost about to say he's delivered, but in that way he's just delivered a penalty, hasn't he? Unfortunately to Widnes. So.
He's delivered 2 tries.
He has indeed as well. Yes. So yeah, he's very much popped up with those. Someone's flicked a switch for Widnes here. A little bit loose in the pass. They're still going though. Ramping up, a little flicked offload. It's a kick forward to Craven. Will they tap it down in the end? Makelim just says, let's opt for safety here. Let's not do anything daft, and it'll be a goal line dropout.
Yeah, well, obviously Makelim in the full-back position, he's sort of realising that the clock is their friend. So he takes it over there. They'll let the shot clock run down. And old Mark Aston there, sure he's enjoying himself.
And Matt James, the skipper as well, who unable to play today, so he is the water boy. Oh, and that's a fumble from Gelling!
Oh. Well. That was a difficult drop out, wasn't it? So, drop kick towards the sideline. Gelling couldn't claim it. And now they've rushed to the scrum to try and stop the clock.
Time off. You've got to stay in that formation.
Well, the
Anthony,
four
stay there. Time
Ray
back on.
French
Switch.
Award nominees, according to the Hour League app, are Anthony Thackeray, Joel Farrell for Sheffield, and Danny Craven and Harrison Henderson for Widnes, and it's a fans' vote. So
Shot clock off.
we shall see who takes the prize.
There's plenty of them out there who could claim the man of the match, because there's been some quality performances across both teams.
Move, Harrison.
Sean Pick a bit crabbing there, but he straightened up eventually. That's a big carry from Connor Davies.
Back we come. Right.
Oliver Davies, should I say. Fed back infield. Thackeray stepping at the line. He had support on his outside from Brown, who's been, as a support runner goes, he's been there every time, hasn't he?
He's been very good indeed, as Thackeray has.
So Davey, now to Brown, plays at the line. Patch Walker tries to take it through himself.
Stand.
We are 10 minutes away from knowing who our inaugural 1895 Cup winner will be.
Last.
That's a
And
good
that's
carry,
another
isn't it?
Surging run, Eddie Batty there, former Sheffield man, as the ball was clipped into backfield, but Widnes pouch it. And now Widnes can try to get on the front foot. Time ticking down.
Well, you've got to admire, you know, the Sheffield Eagles club, because there's 4 players out there who are playing their own products, and Eddie Batty, who's just been shown, he's also a Sheffield product. So, you know, they really do produce players from that area.
Yeah, they're very proud. The likes of the Burns brothers, who all played for the Hillsborough Hawks with Corey Aston, Mark Aston's son, of course. The Burns boys, they're in the first team. And so, as you say, Eddie Batty still impressing in Super League. Big cutout ball finds Dean on this left edge, trying to weave in and out, and he's away nearly. Arvan's got it. Arvan clips through one tackle. Hauled down by the second.
Yeah, it's the last play, though, for Widnes. What will they come up with?
Christine, it'll be a bomb from the left boot of Craven. Out towards that far side. Has come loose. That'll be deemed a knock-on. Widnes will be gobbling up this opportunity now. 15 away, scrum, head and feed.
Yeah, it's a good end, wasn't it? That a big kick from Craven, and again it was Fogelin to challenge and put Miller under pressure. Miller came up with a knock on there.
So the scrum to be formed. And Ryan Miller, who has been such a bright note, hasn't he?
Yes, he's had a good game, but error there, a pressured error, might I add, but an error nonetheless.
Craven out the back. Jack Owens swamped by Guzdek.
He's
And
played well
Thackeray.
in the centre, hasn't he, Guzdek? You know, it's not his normal position.
Yeah, the positional sort of nuances can be difficult sometimes, but he's dealt well with what's ahead of him. Whizzed away, little wraparound play. Gilmore out the back, lovely tip. Oh no, it's been knocked on by Gelling. Surely that'll come back. But he rescued that, didn't he? Because otherwise, Sheffield could have been away.
Well, it was Miller, wasn't it? And Miller is a speedster. But that was great pressure from the head. They created 3-on-2, but they really flew at them, did the left edge. Helliwell and Miller it was, and put that skill under pressure. Came up with a knock-on. That was a big defensive effort.
7 minutes to go. Sheffield leading by 10 points, 28-18. He can barely look at the pitch at the moment, Mark Aston. He's just moaning about something to Keith Senior instead. He's getting an earful.
He'll be telling Keith it's his turn, I'll tell you.
And they're sharing a joke now. Here they come, Makelin. A big try in the second half to put Sheffield into a promising position. Davey from Acton half. And again, they're lining up the carries as they look to force their way out of trouble here.
Good carry, that one.
That was a real up-the-jumper job, wasn't it, from Knowles? And now Davey has got that space to pop out of the ruck and last tackle.
Thackeray over the sideline, but Jack Owens is covering that.
And Thackeray just thumps it there. Owens didn't want to have to deal with that. And so, scrum and feet to Widnes, but Thackeray just game management and again, chewing down that clock.
Yeah, they've been good, haven't they? Well, both sets of halfbacks, in all honesty. You know, they've asked questions, they've organised the team really well, they've ended sets well. But Thackeray's had a cracker, he has.
So the two sides packed down in the scrum. Sheffield have all their big boppers in the centre of the field waiting to get stuck in. You can almost see them lining up there for line speed-wise, as Wild was clamped.
Well, I don't want to put the mocker on Sheffield, but they've kept Widnes scoreless, haven't they, this second half?
Yeah, they've not laid a finger. 18-16 at halfway. And Sheffield have scored 2 converted scores in that time to break it
18-12,
open.
wasn't it, Matt?
Was it?
Yes.
All right, 18 to even more tries.
Yeah, that Farrell score from that kick from Walker, the first set.
So carried away with it all, John.
It's been a good game. It's been a cracking game.
Anyone who thought that this was going to be a damp squib, and I don't think there were many, have certainly been proved wrong. It's been a real corker, and that's a real corker of a kick.
Good
and Makelin did brilliantly, and he skipped away, and he might find an offload, but instead he finds the floor. But that just gives your whole team confidence, doesn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, that shift of Makelin to fullback and Guzdek to centre, been really smart from Mark Aston, hasn't it? Because he's looked very accomplished at fullback. He's had a really good game.
Farrell burrowing his way forward. Those Widnes fans have stayed in their places. They've not given up on this one yet. Mason thought about an offload. Just short of halfway. Fed quickly into Thackeray, and he engages the line at pace. A few glum faces, but they are keeping the faith.
Their team's played well, though. You know, it's not as if they haven't come in and they've disappointed. It's just the opposition's been very good. And well taken, young man. Oh, he's made another.
Oh, Hatton's dropped it and it's gathered up. Here comes Pick, is it? And they've robbed through the middle. It's a hat-trick for Aaron Brown that might just have taken the 1895 Cup back to South Yorkshire. Sheffield and Aaron Brown and Mark Aston can start to celebrate now. 4 to play, 32-18. The Cup is heading to Sheffield.
Yeah, they know they've won it now, don't they? And what a great win that is. You know, to keep the opposition scoreless, to score 20 points in the second half without reply. Fully deserved. It's come on the back of that kicking game again. That high kick, it did really well to collect it, Hatton, but the header was forced in the collision. And then there's Adam Brown there, cross for his hat-trick, and I don't think he's in the man of the match running, is it?
It's not, no.
So
a bit like the old
that's
Lance
a bit
Todd,
harsh, isn't it? 3 tries at Wembley, and you're not going to get man of the match.
Well, somebody might hand it to him if they're feeling generous. 3 tries, Aaron Brown. I was at training of Sheffield Eagles during the week, and he was limping around, and I didn't initially include him in my match day notes, but he has played fantastically.
He has, and Walker's added the 2, and that just goes to show it's a good job you don't pick the team, and Mark Aston does.
Either that or he was being very deceptive with his hobbling around. But either way, Sheffield Eagles are on course now. 34 points to 18. Widnes have been game and brave, and in that first half, they were exceptional. But Sheffield have lifted the tempo, cranked it up, and Mark Aston, who came here as a player and won, he will now add a coaching victory to his CV as well. Less than 3 to play, John, and it is signed, sealed and delivered.
It is, yes, they're too far away now for Widnes. And now it's a matter of the clock being run down by the Eagles. But a very, very good performance.
Maybe trying to add further insult to injury now. Some of those Widnes fans are thinking about the long trip north. And when you're looking at the clock and it's saying 20 to 8.
They've battled adversity, though.
Yeah.
They've battled adversity, I've witnessed, with that injury to Jordan Johnson so early on. And I think they've done their fans proud, but Sheffield have been fantastic. They really have, and deserved winners.
Yeah, they've really upped things in the second half, and they're upping things now. Blackmore hacks back in field. Well-positioned Jack Owens, though, skips back in field. They haven't given up on this one, Widnes. They're still going to try and play, as Hatton was rocked by a big shot there. And Farrell it was who made the tackle, and Widnes will carry on. Is there something to cheer for those fans who've made the trip down here? They didn't think they'd have a club back in February, March time, but they've certainly got one, and they've got one to be proud of too.
They've got one with a Wembley appearance as well, so well done to them.
Both sides from the Championship really putting on a display that highlights the quality that exists outside the Super League, the bubble of Super League. This competition is alive and kicking. as Gilmore chips over the top, looking to put somebody away maybe. Thackeray gathers it up, looks at the clock, just over a minute to go, and then Thackeray busts the line, bit of a step. Thackeray wants a solo score, and he just couldn't quite get away, but Sheffield might finish with another flourish here, and they get a penalty.
Yeah, well, will they go for two again, or put it in the corner and have a set of 6 on their line? But I don't think they're that bothered. I think Patchwork will go for goal, and he'll run the clock down. Really good play from Sheffield, and he's had a great game as Craven, as has Hep Cale in the background. But unfortunately for them, they've come up against a Sheffield team who've played really well, especially after that shock of that 12-0 deficit.
Yeah, back-to-back scores at one stage, and you wondered whether Sheffield were going to be overrun. Well, not only did they score, they pulled it back, and then in the second half, they went in front. And they have swung this game round the final seconds. The hooter will ring out around Wembley. Kieran Patil can wonder what might have been from his Widnes side as the ball streaks through the posts, and Sheffield Eagles can start the party. They have won here the 1895 Cup. The inaugural AB Sundex 1895 Cup has been won by the Sheffield Eagles. 2 trips to Wembley, 2 victories, 2 trophies, 2 good.
And what a perfect way to round it off, that Patchwalker penalty goal. 36 points to 18. Great performance from Widnes. You've got to take your hat off to them. They've contributed greatly to this, but a magnificent performance from the Sheffield Eagles, and deserved winners.
Well, it was here, it's almost a celebration of 2 clubs that have fought back from the dark times. Sheffield will be the team that go on to lift the trophy and go on to taste the delight of victory and the euphoria of lifting a cup, but both sides are winners in many ways. They've come to Wembley, put on a fine show, and we've seen an absolute cracker of a competition for an inaugural final.
Yeah, very good indeed. The standard of play was very high. Credit to the championship, but credit to those clubs who've entertained us so royally out there. Seen some fantastic strides, some great defence, and great commitment from all 34 players.
And that mascot, it's all too much for the Eagle. He has partied and enjoyed every try and every joyous moment, and now the players can start to ponder the celebrations. Ben Blackmore, who might have dropped his head in that first half after a couple of errors, but he kept on fighting, didn't he? And those Eagles fans, Mark Aston, such a figurehead at that club, isn't he? He's done pretty much every job going at that club.
Well, he's Mr. Sheffield, isn't he? He's kept this club going when they've faced adversity, and it's great reward for him. I'm really pleased for him and pleased for the club generally, but he's been at Sheffield for 20-odd years now. He's seen some great times, and he's seen some low times. He's still there, and the club's still progressing.
And so, Ray French, who's up there in the box, his award will go to Anthony Thackeray, not Aaron Brown, the hat-trick hero. Unfortunately, he wasn't on the list of nominees in the end, but Ray French, flanked there by Ralph Rimmer and Carl Hull, the Vice President of the Rugby Football League. And now the Sheffield Eagles players can go to receive the raptures from their supporters down in this corner of Wembley. They might have been outnumbered, but they were not outsung, and their team has not been outgunned.
No, they can feel very, very proud. The fans can be very proud of the coaching staff, but especially the players. You know, they've gone out there, they've delivered a really good performance. But let's not forget the Widnes Vikings contribution as well. That's been immense. And also their fans coming down here. You know, they came down in their numbers, so credit to the Eagles, great performance, great win, but also well done to the Widnes Vikings.
Yeah, we can't stress enough that Kieran Patil at one stage probably didn't know if he was going to have a job, if he was going to have a team to manage, whether there was going to be a club to exist, to pick that team up, take them to a Wembley final. That's some achievement.
It is, and they're going over to their fans, and that's great credit to them, and well done to Kieran for getting his team here despite the adversity he's suffered this season. And those have been very well rewarded with a committed performance, but just they were second best on the day.
Yeah, Sheffield so professional, especially the second half. They just came out firing, put points on, took the game away from Widnes, And credit to the Widnes fans, they're full of voice and they appreciate the effort. You can sense that there's a genuine bond between that group and the players and the community.
They're glad they've got a club, Matt. That's the top and bottom of it, and they appreciate they've not only got a club this season, kept a club, they've also had a trip down here to Wembley as well. So well done, you fans, for coming down here.
It might feel a little bit like a painful one at the moment, but there is Anthony Thackeray, the Ray French Award winner, as man of the match. So he will make his early walk up the steps to receive that. And a few of those London Broncos players, some of those lads that he knows so well. And the Ray French Award winner to receive the trophy, which has been named after that great man. Great player, great commentator, great servant of the game.
Oh, he's contributed so much to the game, hasn't he? And it's a fitting tribute to him that he's had this man of the match named after him. And the officials, well done to them. They've contributed to this also. I thought Chris Kendall was really good. They kept the game open, they kept it flowing, but he was assertive with his decision-making as well.
Yeah, Carl Hall handing out the medals to those referees. The Vice President of the Rugby Football League, the Sheffield Eagles fans now have that wondrous moment where they get to enjoy watching their players lift the trophy at Wembley for the second time. Some of them may not have even been around in 1998. Tony Adams with a big hand extended, the former England skipper, former Arsenal skipper as well. Handshakes along the line. Johnny Whiteley offering his congratulations. But the inaugural Ray French Award winner is Anthony Thackeray, and we will soon see those Sheffield Eagles players join him to take the trophy in just a moment, John.
Yeah, and a well-deserved winner. Although I don't know whether Aaron Brown will think that, but you know, but he's certainly really controlled his team very well. Scored an opportunist try and finished sets really well. So played a real good half-backs performance there, Anthony Thackeray, and a deserved winner of the Man of the Match award.
And I think they're just trying to amass the Widnes players, maybe to go up for the runners-up medals. I'm not sure what order. They tend to do it in that order, don't they? So the runners-up receive theirs first.
Yeah, they won't mind waiting, the Eagles players, I'll tell you.
Cern currently at the moment exchanging pleasantries with fans and friends and family and former teammates and non-playing members of the squad. I think Kieran Patel just waiting for the Widnes players to be ready to assemble.
Well, as a first final, Matt, you know, the whole game's got to be pleased with that as a spectacle, and hopefully this competition can grow in the fullness of time.
Yeah, it's always tough. You bring a new fixture into the calendar, a new competition. There are always going to be skeptics. There will always be, I guess, teething problems with the way that the game is organised amongst their already packed schedule. So I know certain teams weren't happy about the midweek scheduling of the kind of earlier rounds, but when they see a carrot such as this, surely it can only grow the competition.
And I think it can be scheduled better next year and possibly move it in front of the main event. But this has been a really, really good game, watched by a good crowd as well, Matt, and they've been royally entertained.
Yeah, those Widnes fans just slowly making their way to the exits. There are a fair few, though, who are staying for the trophy presentations, showing respect to both their players who were vanquished in the end and to those Sheffield Eagles players who really had to turn up and deliver to get beyond and past this Widnes Vikings side. And it's the Widnes players now who slowly make the walk up the steps to the royal box. It's got to be one of those most bittersweet occasions of anybody's career where you're making that journey. You are going to be, in a sense, recompensed for your efforts, in the sense you get the medal and you get the taste of walking up there, but you know that.
Well, those men can say they've played at Wembley, you know, and there's not many people can say that, so they really can say that, and their fans are appreciating their efforts. You know, obviously one or two going out disappointed, but they've got to appreciate the efforts of their team in getting here and in how they played on the day.
Yeah, Widnes accounted for Featherstone, Dewsbury and Lee Centurions. No mean feat with those three sides in the championship. Hep Cahill, who's played for his country, New Zealand, he's played in the NRL at the highest level, had never ventured to Wembley before. He's managed to tick that one off. And if you think about players like McGrath Luluai, who comes from such a rich family of rugby league talent, he can now say, like his dad, like his brother, like his uncle, that he has played at Wembley. And that's
it's
pretty much what it's about.
It probably won't feel that at the moment in time, but when they reflect on this, when they sit down with their feet up, when, you know, they're 20 years on, they can always tell the kids, the grandkids, you know, I played at Wembley, and more importantly, they played in the first ever 1895 Cup final at Wembley.
So there are plenty of handshakes and commiserations from those along the line. The Sheffield Eagles contingent just offering their commiserations. Tony Adams as well, and it's Simon Johnson, the interim chairman of the Rugby Football League, handing out the runners-up medals to those Widnes players. Johnny Whiteley with a handshake too, and Ray French, who will have known these Widnes players so closely. Double heartbreak for him today. Former Saint, former Widnes player. Both of his former clubs have come up short this afternoon, but knowing Ray, he will just be pleased for the game of rugby league that we've had such a spectacle. Both spectacles.
He'll look at the bigger picture, won't he? And you know, we've had two great finals today. Marvellous Challenge Cup final with a tremendous win for the Warrington Wolves, and a really good 1895 inaugural cup final with two good performances from the two teams, but especially a very good performance from Sheffield Eagles.
Some of those young players, the likes of Keenan Brand, the likes of even the Chapperhow brothers, who seem to have been around for a fair while. They're just 22 still. And now it's the turn of the victorious Sheffield Eagles. The likes of Blake Broadbent wondering where their fathers have been before. The likes of James Meadows, who didn't play today but have come on dual reg from London. They'll have had a taste of success now as well.
Very much so, very much so. There's some proud people there. I mean, Anthony Thackeray and Patch Walker, you know, they've had distinguished careers at this level. They're in the 30s, and they've now played in this game and won it. And Matty Foz out there, another London Bronco, who'd spent time at Sheffield, so he's congratulated his mates as they go up.
So plenty for Anthony Thackeray to enjoy. He's already made the trip to gather the Ray French Award for Player of the Match, as voted by those users of the Our League app, the Rugby Football League's official app. But it's Anthony Thackeray who shakes hands with Simon Johnson, Tony Adams, and former Great Britain and Hull FC great Johnny Whiteley will do the honours. And believe me, they are honours, and it's the skipper, isn't it, who actually, it's their regular skipper, who's Matt James, who's not available today.
No, he's injured, but Matt James...
injured, and he will share the duties along with Patch Walker. It's a three-man lifting the trophy for Sheffield Eagles. They were victorious in 1998, and they have conquered again here in 2019. 21 years on, so much water under the bridge for the Sheffield club. Mergers, homelessness, the lack of a facility of their own, but they have trophies in the cabinet, and they put a big one back there too. And look what it means. Sheffield, South Yorkshire Rugby League, right back on the map.
Yeah, and it means a lot to them, doesn't it? You can see that. The joy in their faces, the celebrations there. They're going to enjoy every minute of this. And I'll tell you what, I reckon it'll be a decent celebration as well.
Well, Mark Aston was saying he wasn't sure, without having a clubhouse of their own, where they were going to go. I think it earmarked a pub. I think it wouldn't matter where they went, they'd make it a party tonight.
I could tell you where they're going, but they'll enjoy a night, I'll tell you.
As the trophy passed along the line, Aaron Brown, it was just a moment ago. Ben Helliwell, one of those players who's come on dual registration. Josh Gusdek, who's a personal trainer in his part-time. Oliver Davies gets his hand on the trophy. Menzieri, cup-tied. He almost begrudgingly lifted that there, didn't he? But he's part of that whole team fabric as well. And the Eagles players just savouring it. And now a special moment. Nathan Mason has the cup to Blake Broadbent, and there will be a heart fluttering. Two hearts fluttering, weren't there, in the shape of Paul and Cindy Broadbent.
Yeah, his mum and dad will be absolutely so proud of him and his contribution today. But well done, those fellas. You enjoy your night, you've earned it.
So Ray French and Ralph Rimmer there, and handing out the medals as well. Laura Beaumont of the competition sponsors AB Sundex. So the two sides have pretty much now gained their medals, pretty much gained their trophies. It's the Sheffield Eagles who depart Wembley as winners and join Warrington Wolves as victors on a remarkable day of rugby league here at Wembley.
It's been a great day, hasn't it? Two great finals and two very delighted clubs.
So Anthony Thackeray, who cannot wait to catch up with, and there's Mark Aston as well, who was in Thackeray's position in some respects back in 1998. He was the playmaker, the man who did it all. And there is Eddie Batty, a former Eagle, a boy of Sheffield, who knows so many of these players well, and they are sharing in some big raps. And London Broncos and Sheffield Eagles have almost got a little bit of a shared history together, really, haven't they?
Very much so.
They've both been through tough times.
I wouldn't fancy that steward's job of getting rid of Eddie Batty.
And so Anthony Thackeray and Mark Aston stroll down the steps to rejoice for the big celebration on the field, where they will hoist that trophy aloft and the fireworks and pomp and ceremony will follow. And so those Sheffield Eagles fans get their opportunity to bounce and celebrate. Johnny Lawless on the back of a shirt there. A few real retro classics have been rolled out by the fans today, haven't they?
Yeah, there's a genuine feeling of warmth, isn't there, for the success that these guys have enjoyed and are enjoying and are savouring every minute of this, and rightly so. It's a tough job, isn't it, being working and being a part-time player, and to have days in the sun like this, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, for example, Josh Gusday was, we were saying, personal trainer. Ben Blackmore, he's an engineer. You've got the likes of Patch Walker, runs his own construction company. Financial advisor, Anthony Thackeray. Players that have to work really hard. And so, what a wonderful final. The inaugural 1895 Cup final here at Wembley, capping off a wonderful day of rugby league. It's finished with the Sheffield Eagles taking the big prize. 21 years after they won the Challenge Cup, they have added another piece of silverware at the National Stadium to their roster. They have beaten the Widnes Vikings by 36 points to 18. Good night.